It is a traditional Dharamsala pitch like we know it, that is on offer for the fourth test. What kind of changes are you expecting from both teams?
I expect it to have bounce. I expect it to have some amount of pace. The ball will swing a little in the morning session and also in the late evening session because of where Dharamsala is placed. Obviously, the air is thinner, it gets colder. So there is a good reason to actually contemplate playing another fast bowler. I am all for 5-bowler theory because India need 5 bowlers for a variety of reasons. One, of course, you need to take 20 wickets, but also take into account that your best bowler has bowled 700 overs in this season. The second best bowler has also bowled as many. So there is some fatigue which was visible in the previous game. You need to help others to just shoulder the responsibility a little more. So 5-bowler theory is my theory, but then the third seamer or the third spinner will obviously be dictated by the pitch.
Hypothetically speaking, if Team India decides to go for a third seamer, do you see someone like a Mohammad Shami walking into the playing 11, provided of course he's given the green signal? He did play 2 Vijay Hazare matches.
I think if he's available, fit and available, he walks into this side 7 days of a week, because he is that good. And we've had this chat with Kumble not too long ago, and every person on this Indian contingent is mindful of the fact that he is a match winner. They are missing him, and they are eagerly waiting for him to get back to full fitness and back into the 11. So if he's available, he's playing for sure, irrespective of India opting to play for 3 seamers or 2 seamers. If he's fit and available, I think he'll walk into the side.
Going by the kind of character that Virat is, even if there's a 1% chance of him playing, he will want to play. But what do you think is the nature of the injury? Is there something to be really worried about?
If there was a tear, they've got these MRI scans done, and the news from Indian dressing room is that there is no tear, there is just a strain. If it's just a strain, then it is easily curable. You don't really need to get a break of 3 weeks or more, and therefore I expect Virat to actually play. It might flare up, it will be slightly uncomfortable, maybe more than a slightly uncomfortable, but you can always get a cortisone shot in your shoulder to take care of the pain. And if he can walk on one leg, if he can play with one hand, he will be playing there against Australia in the final test match, because he also realizes that this is the last test match of this whole long home season. And if he's not there, Indian team obviously will be a slightly deflated side, and he'll be there. I'm pretty sure he played with stitches in his hands. So that's what he's done in the past and scored runs. So you expect him to do that again.
He's also someone who's a very proud individual. He likes to lead from the front. How much of the fact that he hasn't really scored too much in this series will also be playing on his mind, Aakash? Because it's not just the shoulder injury that he wants to prove that he can go out and bat with. It's also the fact that he is possibly the world's best batsman, and he wants to prove that again.
100%, because you don't really want a series to get over without leaving an indelible impression on that series. And Virat has had only 1 series in his entire career where he didn't really leave a mark. That was England a long time ago, but that seems like eons ago now. Besides that, every single innings, every single series, he's done something of note. This series has been an exception, and what better place to just make it an aberration and do what he generally does, score a lot of runs in Dharamsala. He's got runs there in the past as well. Even I'm talking about the first class days. This is a good pitch to bat, great ground to score, ball travels fast, you get a lot of value for your shots. I expect Virat to play, and not just as a player, but also as a leader on the field, because we did see India on day 2, like I think third half of day 1 and day 2, it was looking slightly lackluster. Virat Kohli, the captain, was also missed.
Alright, so Virat, of course, crucial part of the Indian setup. He has to play as far as all Indian cricket fans are concerned. But let's talk about the opposition now, Aakash. The Australians, of course, known around the world for their mind games, and it hasn't stopped on the eve of the 4th test as well. Josh Hazlewood going on record to say the pressure is firmly on Team India. We had Mr. Gavaskar telling us earlier that if there's any such thing as momentum, then after the 3rd test, the momentum is with Team India. Who, according to you, has the upper hand?
Well, I personally feel that I'll have to, even though I want to disagree with Josh, but the fact is that pressure is on India for a simple reason that they were not even expected to draw a single game. They've already won 1. They've drawn 1. So they are actually at a great place to be, where they never expected themselves to be in by the 4th test match. So they have everything to gain, very little to lose. Nobody gave them a chance, and I'm pretty sure secretly they didn't give themselves a chance either. So now that they have won a test, they have drawn a test, coming back from behind, they will be fancying their chances. It's just that they don't have the bowling repertoire to win games. Unless the pitch has a lot in it, like we had in Pune. If the pitch is a decent test match pitch, they don't have the bowlers to dismiss India twice in the same test match. And therefore, India will have an upper hand. But yes, not without a little bit of pressure.
Akash, who can be the key players in this particular test from both sides? If you had to pick three from each side, someone like a Pat Cummins, the way he bowled, especially in the third test, that really surprised a lot. He might be a key player here.
More than Pat Cummins on this particular surface, just keeping in mind the conditions, Josh Hazlewood. I think he's the kind of bowler you need in these conditions, who just pitches the ball up, bowls at corridor of uncertainty outside of, will induce some edges and maybe just sneak through your defense. So Josh Hazlewood is one. In their batting department, it's all about Steve Smith. Steve Smith and Peter Hanscom, these are the two batsmen. David Warner, I'm not worried about him anymore. Matt Renshaw has impressed, but then he doesn't really have the game to go on and score a big 100. Gets falls after getting a decent start. So these three from Australia. India, I think, is still banking heavily on their bowlers. So Ravichandran Ashwin's form seems to be directly proportional to India's fortune. So really want him to fire. Ravindra Jadeja is another guy, but Jadeja will be all right. I think a seamer, if Shami is playing, then Shami is critical. From the batting front, I think I really like KL Rahul. If he fires, he just keeps the game moving quite fast. So I'd be actually hoping that he also gets some runs.